Hi everyone. Happy end of 2025, and I hope your New Year's um, expectations are good, and then you are just hoping for a great time and to spend around with your loved ones and with your brothers and sisters in faith. So, welcome him. And today I wanted to talk about something that God had been teaching me about um, wants versus needs. So I, one of these days, I went to bed and I was just pondering, considering so much the things that I was looking forward to. But then I started realizing how much of those things were wants and not really needs. And then I surrendered those things to God as I was going to sleep. And even though it hurted a little bit, I just said, well, even if those things do not happen, I know that you are providing me for my every need. And not only that, you provide for my every need in abundance. And to an extent, I started realizing how much those wants were taking a huge grip on my heart that I wasn't realizing, and being content of my needs being met. But not only that, being met in abundance, and not only that, but realizing that um, other people's needs around me could be much more of a priority than thinking of my wants. So I've had my heart set as this as I went to bed, and then I had a dream. And then in this dream, I have some notes here to refer to. So in this dream, God appears to me as I am with my mom in a jewelry shop. So I'm looking down, I can hear his voice, and he tells me, I really like this kid that is going to come into the shop. You don't know him yet, but his name is, and then he said the name. I don't remember the name, but, and then he tells me he's going to come and he's going to rob this place. And then that just takes me back, and I'm like, oh, he's going to rob the jewelry shop and etc. And I get like really intense. And as this kid comes to the jewelry shop, I just run to him, and I just go like, don't do this, don't do this, you don't want to do this, like, please don't do this. And he start like going out of the shop, and I start following him around and like persuade him like, no, don't do this, don't do this. And then he's sort of like, this scares him, and he decides like to turn away and to not rob the place. And as he turns away, I breathe like in relief, and I was like, oh, okay, so he's not gonna rob the place. I'm gonna I'm gonna go back into the shop. And then I see that like I'm turning my back away from him, and God's turning his face towards him, and God goes after him and he feeds him. So he gives him something to eat. So it was like a little bit of meat from a shop. He just goes and give him that to eat. And then Yes. So my notice, um, and then the dream sort of concludes with my mom realizing that she didn't have money for like the top jewels that she was looking for, but she did have some money for like maybe some earrings and a pendant. And then I realized that I was so focused on us not having the money to get the extra, which was like a want. And when there was someone in need of um, food, an essential item, I did not realize, and I was focused on the person's sin instead of my own sin. So, um, some things that I know wrote down whilst I was keeping my focus on the sin of that person. God was looking deeper into that person's needs. I wasn't realizing the place of privilege that I was, that my needs had already been met. And I was blind to the needs of the kid and of what had led him to act in the way that he was going to act. So, I had partiality because I look to what my family, my group, my little surrounding was wanting rather than, and I was in feeling there was a place of lack, but rather than looking and seeing the needs of the others. So she and I were acting from a place of excess, and we had our priorities set in the wrong place. So this is also a call to develop a more generous heart coming to the new year, coming the new year with a generous heart, and to care more about the people and seeing if we can make their needs being met, like the important needs, the shelter, water, food. And so this just makes us realize that when I have fewer desires within my heart, I'm more content with all that I have. And as I'm content with all that I have, whatever else I get to share. So let this be an encouragement to you. Maybe you're looking um, for things or places or maybe friendships that you want in your life, but you are not looking at what you already have and being in contentment. So how can God give you something else to steward if the things he already given you, you are not having a thankful heart towards? So the first part is reducing wants, looking deeply into all that we have with with eyes of contentment and thanksgiving to the Lord. And The third is looking beyond our boundaries of like close friendship, family, um, our like close knitted group, looking beyond that. Can we look and see past that to others, people in your neighborhood, people in your town, areas that are not as privileged as yours? Can we look into them and provide anything? So I'm not saying that we are going to carry the heavy burdens of meeting people's needs in our backs, because God does care for them and provides for them. But what I'm saying is being open to God, have a soft heart so God can mobilize you and say, okay, look, this person, so you are the person that I'm sending to give them a sandwich today, uh, or a hot drink, a hot cup of tea, you know, or maybe even smaller things than that, like a hug or a smile or saying hi. Or it could be setting up like a monthly donation to a shelter. Or, yeah, it's a great way to show God that you appreciate the gifts that He's giving you and allowing you to steward. It's a great way to show thanks by also looking um, to the other people that He created as well, and being able to share with them that compassionate heart. And in that way, you'll be pleasing the heart of God the Father by resembling the compassionate way of Jesus. So I hope this serves as an encouragement to you, as it has to me, as I look forward to in 2026 being less fixated on my wants and reduce the amount of wants, and being focused on being grateful for the needs being met, and having a heart that looks with compassion towards others. So this was the word for today. Have a great day. Have a great start of your new year. Bye for now.